Are you excited about the ideas you've seen for teacher websites? Hopefully, you've gathered some great ideas that you can't wait to use when you're a teacher. This week, you'll be identifying educational uses for Microsoft PowerPoint, helping students and parents understand copyright and fair use, and making your acceptable use policy available to students. Resources for these learning outcomes are posted in the guided exercise assignment area. Most importantly, remember to post your individual contribution within the availability time of your team. You chose your team based on the time you had available to study. Honor your team's time. In this week's post to your team, you will make suggestions for 3 types of content. 1. Find or create a resource, document, audio file, video, that explains the concept of copyright to students and parents. Remember, this resource needs to be in age-appropriate, kid and parent-friendly language based on the classroom context for your website. Please do not summarize what copyright is. The resource should speak directly to students and parents. Because many schools allow students to access the internet, some schools or districts have developed a formal document called an Acceptable Use Policy that students and parents are expected to sign before internet use is allowed at school. Do a search for Acceptable Use Policies, sometimes referred to as AUP, and suggest 5 classroom rules based on the policies you find. Suggest 2 educational uses for PowerPoint. Create or find a resource for students or parents that uses the PowerPoint software application. In the era of social media, there is a blurring of the lines between copyright law and what students consider sharing, remixing, and reusing. While educational purposes allows limited use of copyrighted works, the laws are ambiguous and subject to interpretation. How will you ensure that students and parents understand the significance of copyright when making resources available to them through your website? Use your internet search skills to view resources on copyright. Identify 5 classroom copyright rules to which students and parents should be aware. State your classroom copyright rules in age-appropriate language based on your classroom context. Post your suggestions for copyright rules in your team's discussion space. Computer use is an integral part of K-12 education, and most districts have some sort of acceptable use policy. Student privacy, security, and safety online are of the utmost importance. Typically, students, faculty, and staff are asked to sign an agreement acknowledging rules concerning computer and internet searching at school. Use your internet searching skills to explore district, school, or classroom policies regarding computer and internet use at school. Suggest 5 rules regarding the use of the computers and the internet in your classroom and post your ideas in your team's discussion space. By this point, your individual post should offer the following 3 suggestions: a resource that explains copyright in kid-parent-friendly language, 5 rules that will make up your acceptable use policy for accessing the internet at school, and 2 educational uses for PowerPoint. The audience of the documents must be students or parents, written in kid-parent-friendly language. Please do not explain how you would use Microsoft PowerPoint to present information to students on copyright. This would not earn any points on the rubric. Instead, you would prepare a few presentation slides for students and parents to view on copyright. And again, it's okay to modify existing content on the web. You do not have to start from scratch. But all content must be within the classroom context agreed upon by the team. Before you submit responses to the guided exercises, review the assignment rubric. To ensure that you earn the highest possible score for your contributions this week, make sure your response contains all the items in the exemplary column. The items added to the website do not have to be completely built or finished this week. There will be time allotted during week 7 to finish building the website. Here's a recap of the criteria for your individual post. You should have a resource that explains copyright in kid, parent-friendly language. 5 rules that make up your acceptable use policy for accessing the internet at school, and 2 educational uses for PowerPoint. I'll be keeping a watchful eye on your team's interactions. Should you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to let me know.